Welcome back to the African Effect. This is your boy Derrick, aka D Boy, here as always with
Natalie. What's up, everybody? Today we have a very, very special guest. You want to introduce yourself?
It's the homie Sam. I don't know about special, but I'm here, so let's go.
He's here. He's special. Don't mind him. So he's here today to help us kind of like talk through some of the things that we've been talking about. How was your day today, Sam?
It's good. It's good. It's TGIF, I guess.
Oh yeah, today is
Yeah,
Friday.
it
Dang,
is.
the days are running
Did you
together.
work today?
Kinda. I mean, as much work as you can get done on a Friday, I guess.
Sam doesn't work. Sam
Yeah.
gets on conference calls and doesn't work.
So you just go tell my business about the one time that I was eating pounded yam on a conference call. That's what you're
How African is that?
harping.
It's on a call eating pounded yam. What? Goodness. No, TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. So we're happy to be here today. Today, this is conversation is my thing. I actually want to talk about this. This has been on my mind for a long time. I need some answers from you men. We're going to talk about situationships
Oh, Lord.
or
Interesting.
or friends with benefits, whatever term it is we want to use. So I want to start off by talking, like, when it comes to situationships, I want to actually read what like the dictionary term is for situationships. Okay. So it says,
Is this like an urban dictionary or like
no, it's just like a basic, I think it's like from ABC News or something.
Interesting.
Okay, I was about to say, situation should make it into like the Webster's or something. Like,
I mean, it
okay.
happens a lot, but it says a situationship is basically an undefined romantic relationship. Unlike a friends with benefits situation, there can be feelings involved in a situationship, but the terms of the relationship and the end goal of the relationship are not defined.
Hmm.
So is that what you guys would consider to be a situationship?
So my question is, in a friends with benefits, is the end goal defined? in
No,
that as well?
friends with benefits has no end goal. It's just we're just friends that are having sex. There's no like escalation to anything, right?
I mean, I would say, I guess there's no definition for friends with benefits, as you said, but the key difference there would be, I guess, feelings. So with a
Mhm.
situationship, they may or may not be feelings. With friends with benefits, there's definitely not feelings. It's just y'all just friends that, you do the damn thing sometimes.
That's true.
The key thing for me with a situationship is that whole thing of being undefined. That's like the major, I mean, y'all can have feelings, y'all can kind of kick it like we are, building towards something, but you don't actually say that,
Mm.
and it's,
That's interesting.
yeah, that's the way I see it anyway.
I see situationships as whenever I think of a situationship, I literally connect a situationship to the devil. And the reason
Tell me more. Word?
Look,
The-
Lucifer's daughter is talking right now.
That escalated very quickly.
I feel like I'm speaking for a lot of the women out there. Situationships is such a convenient place to be for men because you get that companionship, you get all of the feels of a relationship without the commitment. So you get the sex, you get the whatever, the nurturing, you get the cooking, whatever it looks like for you to be in a relationship without all of the without the commitment. And that's like golden for men. And I think that it is just a horrible thing for us to continue to do as a society. And I think that we're seeing more situationships than we are relationships. And it is so toxic. Like, it's so toxic. I hate situation. I've been in situationships before. I didn't know that I was in a situationship. I actually thought that like I was, let me not lie. I didn't think I was in a relationship because I didn't want to be in one. But I didn't know the term of like what it was until like recently, until now. And so it's like the key to finding out that you're in a situationship is to ask the person, like, where are we going from here?
Mhm.
And they're like, I don't know.
So in my opinion, I don't think us as men came up with the whole situationship. I think that's a female thing.
Really? Are we
Yeah.
surprised that Derrick is blaming everything on the female? We're not surprised that Derrick is saying it's a female. We're not surprised. Derrick, that's his thing.
Listen. I don't think that's a term that we came up with. Like I would love to know who came up with that.
I feel like it was a man. Why would a female come up with a situationship? It
Well,
doesn't benefit her.
just in general, most like language research has shown most like changes in language or whatever are usually related to basically to women, like how women talk and everything. That's how typical vernacular comes into
I feel like
public use. So there's a chance.
maybe a woman came up with the term, but the behavior I feel like started with the way that a
Okay.
man was behaving.
That's fair.
Let's be real, because a man can dictate whether a situationship or a friends with benefits turns into more. Because you said before, right, Derrick, that it's up to the man to determine whether or not this cultivates into something more. The man decides whether it wants to be a relationship. The man decides what he wants.
No, so I was speaking as far as like marriage. So who decides if you get married or not? We do.
Mhm.
Who proposes? We do. Unless you have the courage to get on your knees and ask us to marry you.
Which is
And for
stupid.
people, women who do that, like I feel like you're just kind of like selling yourself. Like for
So, okay, so when is this? Let me ask, when is a situationship beneficial? When is it beneficial to enter into a situationship? That's the $1 million question
For who?
for men.
Sam, please. I am curious to hear this one.
Okay. I would say it is beneficial if that's what you're looking for, because not everybody's at a point where they're looking for something serious, they're looking for, something long term, but everybody at some point is looking for companionship. And if that's the
Mhm.
way you can find it, then you know what, go for it. And I mean, I don't agree that it's this thing from the pits of hell like you're saying it is. The only thing I'll say about it is if that's what you, and this is going to be counterintuitive, but if that's what you want, go ahead and say, don't lie about it.
Exactly.
Right.
But that's the problem, is that a lot of men are
No, a
not.
lot of women
a lot of men
Are not honest.
A lot of men are not
a lot
honest.
of women are not honest.
See, you see what I'm saying
a lot
here?
of women
Like,
are
this
not
is
honest.
literally-
Because
this
here's
is-
the okay. Look, yes, I'm going to say it. There's a lot of women who just want the dick, or they just want companionship. They don't want to commit a relationship, but they won't say it because of the title or the image it paints of them.
That's what I'm trying to say, is that if a woman just wants sex, she's not going to get into a situationship. She's going to enter into a friends with benefits situation. Because what a the thing about a situationship
I
is that
disagree because the friends with benefits sounds a lot worse. A situationship, based off of the definition that you just read to us,
Mhm.
it allows for the space of emotions. There is no
But if we're following what you have said previously, and what I typically hear men say, is that women are naturally emotional, right?
Mhm.
Once we are connected to a man emotionally, we will give him almost anything. So if a woman doesn't want that emotional connection, if she doesn't want to develop feelings, there are I know a lot of women personally, and I've been in that place before too, where I don't develop feelings, and that's just like off the rip. I tell you straight up, it's not happening, and it doesn't happen. But if I develop feelings for you, I'm gonna give you a lot. Like, I'm gonna give you what I would give you if I were in a relationship with you, and that's what happens in a situationship. So if a woman truly just wants the penis, she's not going to enter into a situationship. If we're going based on the notion that women are emotional, like we've heard on this podcast multiple times, right? A woman is not going to enter into that because she's going to give herself. And that will take away from, her doing whatever else it is that she wants to do out there. That's the problem I find with situationships, especially as a woman. I'll say it. Like I said, when a woman gets emotional, we give everything. So we find ourselves being loyal to a situationship. We find ourselves like being exclusive to this situationship because we've developed feelings. So in our mind, it's like a relationship, and that's very dangerous. But most women operate that way. Men are able to not operate that way.
Is that our fault?
I'm not saying it's your fault, but I'm saying that, I think that if we're going based on a woman just wanting sex, I don't think that she would enter into a situationship if all she wants is sex. I feel like it would be a friends with benefits thing.
I mean, it could also be that, there's someone that you're interested in, and at the moment, that's all you can get.
Because
Right.
that's all they're willing to offer.
Because the person is willing to offer, but you don't want to, you actually like that person, but you don't want to, like, okay, well, if I can't find it with you, I'm going to go find it from somewhere else. So you know what? I'm going to just go with this right now and kind of see how it goes. And there's nothing wrong with that.
There's
There
a
really
lot
isn't.
wrong with that.
Why?
Because what you're doing is
You
like
said there's a lot wrong with that.
yes,
For who?
for the person that is thinking that way. For the
Okay.
person that is thinking I can't get 100%, so I'm just going to take 10%.
100% of what I want. So I am going to subject myself to what it is this individual's providing or allowing me to entertain for the meantime.
Yeah, it's not of benefit to you because like I said, for a situationship there is no definite discussion about where things will go. So what you're doing, like I said, what most women do is they become loyal to this situation that's not a relationship. And the man could very well be like, you know what? After 10 months, I'm good. I don't want to do this anymore. So it's not of benefit to her for her to say, you know what? I want 100%, but I'm only going to deal with 10% because I like him so much. That's not beneficial. It's detrimental to the woman.
So what are the things that shows that she's being loyal to that situation?
She's not messing with anybody else. And she's giving a lot of her time and her effort to this man, and vice versa. Because there are men who are also in situationships too. Because, men are, I am a firm believer that men are just as emotional, if not more emotional than women. And so men can also get involved in situationships as well. And they can give their time, they can give their money, they can give their energy to a woman and it not yield anything. And then all of a sudden it's like, MOB, money over bitches. These hoes ain't shit. Like all of a sudden, like it's like that. So, I don't know. Have you guys ever been in a situationship? Not a friends with benefits.
Sam, that grin on your face.
One.
No, you've been in multiple situationships.
I mean, that's the one advantage. You said who benefits, right? If I'm in a situationship, if I'm in more than one situationship, that means I'm not cheating, right?
So you've been in more than one at the same time?
Yeah.
So, okay, so hold on, wait. Let me... So what you're saying is...
Wait, this is a safe space, right?
Okay. This is a safe space.
Listen. I'm going to reiterate what I said in the beginning. This is a safe place.
Okay.
There's no judgment.
No judgment.
Like, be you.
I was just saying.
No judgment. No judgment. Because I'm about to ask Derrick the same question in a minute.
Oh, so I'm on the hot seat now. All right,
Yes.
let's go.
So you're telling me that you've been in situations where maybe you didn't necessarily have feelings for these women, but you were in multiple situationships at the same time where multiple women had feelings for you. It was more than a friends with benefits situation, but less than a relationship.
Oh, I mean,
where multiple women had emotions.
No, because
for
I'm
you?
asking because he said he's been in friends more than one situationship at the same time, right?
But I guess by the definition you read earlier, there is some sort of connection when it's a situationship.
Sure.
Right? So it might not be the full-blown connection that I would want if I'm in a full-blown relationship, but there is some connection that is more than friends. It's just that, at that moment, I'm able to do it more than one person, but since it's not a relationship, I'm not cheating.
We're not talking about cheating. We're just talking about situations.
All right. I just want to establish
You see, that's how you know when somebody is guilty. When they're like, they're like, but I didn't do it. I didn't even ask you. Like, I didn't even ask you.
What?
Because
I'm
it's
not
wrong.
guilty. I was just reiterating that that's one of the advantages, and the women can do it too.
Okay, so what
And they can be a lot worse with it.
So have you been in a situationship before, Derrick?
Yeah.
Have you been in more than one situationship at the same time?
Yeah.
Wow. So and this was
but this was before it was defined as a situationship.
Oh, okay. So now you guys at your big age, right? Would you guys
Sounds like a big mother. That's a big African woman.
Damn.
At your big age, okay? Would you guys enter into a situationship now? If the situation called for it?
I'm actually more likely to do it now.
Wow, than before.
Than when I was younger.
Why?
Okay, so I said it. I think I was talking about something like this, like earlier or off mic. At the age I am, I'm more likely to be involved with women my age, right? And as far as I'm concerned, if you're a woman my age and that's not what you want, and you're in there, I don't feel bad for you because you should know better. If that's not what you want, if it's what you want, hey, let's rock with it.
So let me ask this: what do you mean if you're in there? In what?
In the
In a
trenches.
situationship.
Oh, okay.
If you're in a situationship and that's not what you want,
And you're not,
or you're
being
looking for
precise or
something,
being
and you're not
clear
being
that this
precise
isn't
about what
I
you
want.
exactly.
Do you find that a lot of women are not upfront about what they want?
Yep.
Yeah, I think
Mm.
so.
So I think a lot of women. I'm not gonna say all women, but I think a lot of women play on this card that they know that men just want sex. Generally want sex, right? Yes, it's a natural thing. We want sex. So I feel like a lot of women depend on winning men over relationship wise with the punani. Like, no, that's not enough for us to be like, we're gonna lock you down.
Mm.
It's not. So I feel like with the situationships, I feel like a lot of women feel like, oh, because, I'm in this committed, well, not necessarily a committed relationship or situationship. Well, because you and I are like knocking boots. Now you feel like, or you think that I'm going to lock you up because we have great sex, but that's not the case.
So that's going with the idea that men are almost always upfront about what they want to, which I would disagree. I don't think that men are always upfront about what they want. I think that there are a lot of men that will.
I'm not saying that.
Well, I'm just saying that I think that there are men that are not necessarily upfront. I think that there are a lot of men that go with the flow, just like women kind of go with the flow. And then there are also a lot of men that enter into situationships or friends with benefits, and they feel like because we're knocking boots, you belong to me until I'm done with you, right? So that's kind of how it works. It kind of is like both sides. But I guess I've been in a situationship before. I've been in a situationship before it was a situationship, and once I knew what it was, I was still in it. I mean, I'm grown. I'm not a kid, right? So I'm like, I know what I'm in. But I think the difference is that what a lot of men, the curveball, if we want to say, is that I don't think that women are thinking the way that I don't think that women these days are thinking like that as much anymore. I think that women these days are thinking less like that. I think
What are
that
they
there
thinking?
are more savage women out there than we want to give credit. Like, honestly, I mean,
I totally agree.
No,
Yeah,
we
I
completely
think-
agree. Women are way worse than men.
no. You see what I'm saying? This is actually
I don't think you said all that.
Jesus, like what?
Listen,
Goodness gracious.
listen, women are savages. You know y'all can be.
We know we can be, but men can also be savages too. So what I'm saying is like we're going away from women who are like, oh, I'm just
She said
exclusive to him.
Jesus.
But we're going to women who are like, I'm in a situationship with him and I'm knocking boots with Peter, Tom, Paul, and Danny, and I don't care. And I think we're getting more into those situations. So I feel like situationships are more like beneficial for men in that capacity because they know that it's really hard to lock down a woman now. That's what I feel. That's how I
You
feel.
said men feel like it's really hard.
It's
to lock
beneficial
down
for
a woman.
them. So that whole role of like, oh, a woman thinks that sex is going to lock him down. I feel like we're starting to see more men in their feelings when the situation doesn't work out as opposed to women. That's honestly where I feel like we're going. Because men, I mean, it's 2021 and y'all be blasting Drake at 11 o'clock at night after y'all get out the shower and y'all
don't.
like,
So,
I mean,
What kind of stray bullets is that?
I'm just saying.
How that mind his business.
I'm just saying. But okay, so let me ask, what does
I don't agree with the last statement that you made about saying that most men are like leaning towards the. What did you say? You said something about most men are more into their feelings.
now when a situationship doesn't work out? Because what the situationship, I think, honestly, when you look at it, I think that the situationship weighs very heavily on the man's decision, right? Whether the man decides that he wants to define the relationship or not. What we're seeing a lot of the time is that before the man can even get to that point, the woman is already chucking the deuces. I'm moving on to the next. You know what I'm saying? And the guy is like that's honestly what I have been seeing. Like I see a lot of women coming out of situations like this nigga is bugging. Like I don't want to deal with him anymore. And the guy's like, this whole, you know what I'm saying? Like in his feelings. And then, that's just what I'm seeing on social media with people that are in my life, like my friends. When I know we've said this before, but I'll say this again. When women talk in groups, listen, like
Savages.
so it's like piranhas like
So-
eating at like a piece of meat.
So
Like
again, when I go to say women are a lot worse, you start to hear the Jesus Christ.
No,
like,
I'm not
he's
saying.
always talking about
I
women.
never said no, because we know that men are bad. But what we're seeing now is we're seeing women getting increasingly like up to that level. Doesn't
Worse?
necessarily mean no, they're not necessarily worse. Men are bad.
I think
I've seen and ladies, this is one thing. If you're gonna go through your man's phone, which I don't recommend anybody do, don't go to the messages with him and his other women. Go to the male group chats. Go to his friend group chats.
Can you talk a little quieter, please? Thank
that's
you.
where you're gonna see the juice.
Stop giving out this bad advice. Thank you very much.
Because male group chats or group chats with their friends, that's
Ladies-
where you really see.
Ladies, don't listen to
telling
that.
you.
Please don't listen to her.
If you go through, if you, I don't recommend you go through his phone, but I'm saying if you do, bypass the text messages with the females, because it's normally you gonna see. Normally, it ain't nothing in there. Go to the male group chats.
Listen, if you have to get to the point where you have to go through anyone's phone, then you just don't need to be there. You
And we
don't.
know that, but we're just saying, just in general. But what does
Especially in a situationship, bro. Like, mind your motherfucking business, bro.
Okay, so that goes back to my question, Derek. Let me ask you, what does a situationship look like? Let's exclude women are trash, women are this. What does a situationship look like?
Honestly, for me, it's the same as like friends with benefits. I don't. I don't think either one is beneficial. I don't think it is.
No, I'm just
I think
asking
it's
what does it
honestly,
look like?
Like you said, based off of what you read, like it's basically an undefined relationship. It's a sexual relationship.
It's
Right.
not just sex. It's not. Situationships is the different the thing about situationships.
So let me ask this. So if we take sex out of it, what do you consider that as? If we're just hanging out,
Mm-hmm.
right?
It's
The
no.
friend zone.
No, because a situationship is feelings. Like Sam said at the beginning, which is true. The difference between a situationship and a friends with benefit is that friends with benefits typically don't have feelings. You're not emotionally connected,
so you're saying
right?
we can. So you're saying I can have a situationship with a woman where, we're not having sexual intercourse, but it's just more so of we just have an emotional connection.
No, yeah, you
And
can,
we're
but
just kicking it.
but yeah, because
we're not having sex at all.
the difference between friends with benefits and a situationship is the feeling. That's the only difference, right? Because there's an emotional connection there. And so that's what constitutes like the whole relationship feel, right? Friends with benefits is strictly just sex. No feelings, no nothing. We're here to do, it's a transactional relationship. A situationship is different. It's a situation that you're in that it's more than just friends with benefits, but it's less than a relationship because it's not defined. There are feelings there. You both like each other. In some cases, can
Which
love
is what
each
I was
other.
talking about.
Yeah, but you were saying like it's just like friends with benefits, but friends with benefits doesn't have that emotion.
So okay, so yes, add the emotions. Okay, yes, that's what it looks like. It's basically just having sex with just, being in tune with your emotions and having feelings for that individual. That's a situationship. That's what it looks like. From my perspective, I think it's still a dangerous space to be in because women generally are emotional. Are they not?
Okay. I can
Us
agree with
as
that.
men, we are like physical creatures. We like things with our eyes. We like to, for us, we can separate sex from just about anything. Like our emotions, like sex is just sex. It is.
In a utopian world, like in a,
Yeah, sex
I
is
mean,
just sex.
okay.
So like, let's take the guy who wants something serious, right? But she doesn't. She wants the situationship. She wants to be able to feel like the whole vibe of like being in a relationship, the sex, like just having a good time, but don't want anything committed. But at the same time, she doesn't want to share you. That's a situationship.
Yes.
Is it not?
Yes.
Right? So he has come to the realization like, okay, I can't be her man because she doesn't want it. She's afraid of commitment or whatever the case may be. Right? So he subjected himself to that role. Vice versa. A woman does the same thing. At some point, that individual who has invested their time of wanting to explore the idea of this could possibly become something from the situationship, it's a dangerous space to be in for you.
Yeah, we know that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a dangerous space to be in for both men and women. Because it could be the man that has feelings and it could be the woman that has feelings. But
which
do
I
you,
just said.
yeah, so do you think like situationship, well, you obviously, Sam, you don't think situationships are dangerous. You think that that's the lay of the land. Like that's how we should be
It's
living.
not dangerous for the individual who don't give a fuck.
But that's not a situationship. It's two people that have feelings for each other.
So yeah, and I agree.
That's
with
what
that.
I'm saying. Like
Like,
a
I feel like
situationship is not
okay.
one person that
now,
doesn't.
Now I feel like we're okay.
Yeah, that's what it
Okay.
is.
For it
Two
to be
people.
a situation, there has to be at least
Two
some
people.
level
But so that
of giving a fuck.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
by both people. That's a situation. If it's not, then it would be a friends with benefits situation. It's just one person likes another person more. A situationship is both people give a fuck. Both people care. Both people like each other. In some cases, love each other. But there's no defined relationship. That's a situationship. And you see how ridiculous it is. You see how confused we're getting just talking about. That's why I said that it's not necessary. I think it's stupid.
It's a dangerous space to be in.
I think that you should just date and like
Look,
leave it
I
at.
feel like that's just our way of just like identifying or classifying like us just fucking around
That's true.
without a commitment. Literally, I believe that's what it is. It's just us classifying us fucking around without commitment.
I know a lot of Africans. I can't say for sure of anyone else. I can just say African because I'm African. A lot of African men and women who were in situationships
Mhm.
where the woman thought they were actually in a relationship because it's everything.
Mhm.
It looks like
And
a
he got
relationship.
married
It
a
smells
month
like a
later.
relationship, but it's not. And then she wakes up one day and she's on Facebook and she sees that he got married, and
First
it's
of all,
like.
First of all, the situation you just described, that's an emo woman thing. So don't even.
I'm sorry, what?
You've never seen all them jokes on Facebook. Like, don't look at your emo girlfriend's Facebook around Christmas because she might be Nigerian getting married. So please,
Look, the face-
that's specific.
Y'all look, Natalie's face right now.
Listen, I don't understand what that means. I'm an Igbo woman, and that is not something. That's
What do you mean you don't understand what that means?
that's not an Igbo woman thing.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. You
What is
Yoruba
it then?
demons. That's a Yoruba demon thing. You Yoruba demons.
See, I think Yoruba guys, we just have bad PR. Because y'all be doing all the fuck shit, but it
No.
all comes out of the we the demons.
It's
Okay.
the Yoruba demons. We're not even gonna talk about Ghanaian.
All right,
We're not even gonna talk about Ghanaian nothing.
Time out. Let's pause. Let's pause for a sec. Let's pause for a sec.
We're not gonna get into Ghanaian. That's why he said let's pause because he
No,
saw the tide
because-
shifting. And he was like, "Hold on now, it's coming to the Ghanaian side," and he can't even defend his brethren. He can't, because Ghanaian men. Let me tell you something. Ghanaian men, you talk about getting married, finding out on Facebook. Nah, those ones will actually send you pictures of the wedding and be like, "Yo, does my fit look nice? Yo, what you think of my shoes? Can you imagine?" And you be like, "Yo, you got married? That's not what we talking about. We talking about my shoes right now. That's Ghanaian men for you, I'm telling you."
But that's not my forte. That's not
Derek's
my forte.
hands are literally up in
Defend your
the air
people,
right
man.
now.
Damn.
Look, I don't know. Like, I don't
That's
know,
why you
man.
have all the rappers that want to go there, Meek Mill, Lil Wayne, whatever, because they know the vibes. Like they know what's up.
Nah, stay your ass here, man. Nope.
Okay, so I guess the next, in all seriousness, we understand what a situationship is. We understand what friends with benefits is. And I think we all have been in friends with benefits situations, right? Like we all know what that is. Those don't ever work out well either. Friends with benefits situations.
It depends.
On what?
So I think for friends with benefits, if you go into it knowing that it is finite and you're okay with whenever it stops, you'll be good.
That
So
never
again,
happens.
which brings back to the topic of this something, being able to define things, right? If you're in a friends with benefits situation, be in that situation knowing that, look, tomorrow, hey, I got it today. Tomorrow, he or she might say no. and that's the end of it. And I'm not going to be in my feelings about it.
Mm.
Right. And
that takes a level of maturity that I don't think a lot of people are on.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, that takes a big level of maturity. I don't think people are on that. And I don't, before you talk, Derrick, I don't think it's just women. I know you're about to say it's going to be most women. I think that it's just both men and women.
Stop attacking me, bro.
You don't stop attacking women. I think most men and women are not mature.
I be minding my business, man. I be minding my business. I'm telling you, I allow people to hang themselves.
We understand what Derrick's rhetoric is. His rhetoric is women. It's women. It's just women. We understand that. Like, we were watching a video one time of a guy that was like spazzing out in public, and Derrick was like, he might have a stressful wife at home. Like,
damn.
Come on, God. Like, are you serious? Yes. We were watching a video. He was like, shit. Who knows? His wife might be putting him through something. Like, what is that?
She's literally proving my point with that nonsense that she's talking about right there.
Anyway. Okay. So at what point, and this is a question for the both of you guys, and I think it's a valid question.
Okay.
At what point do you end a situationship? When do you say as a man, because you guys are both men, I can't ask a woman, right? So when do you guys sit back and say, as a man, you know what? I understand I have feelings for her. She has feelings for me. I'm not ready to define this. I don't know where it's going to go. I actually care about her. Let me end it. Or it's become more stressful than an actual real relationship. Or, you don't want it to go anywhere. Like, at one point, do you say it's over with? Or do you just wait for her to say, I can't do this anymore?
You just said it.
So do you guys actually really think about that? Or do you this is a real question, because I think that a lot of men typically will wait for the woman to get tired and then be like, oh, okay. Or is there do men typically, from your experience, Sam, do you typically initiate the end of a situationship?
So the short answer to that is no. You're right. Most of the time, I guess in my experience, it's usually like the woman that has been like, okay, and they give you those 3 famous words, define the relationship. Yeah, the situation is done. It's cooked after that. So, but, in some situations, you can have a thing where it's just like, okay, you know what? She's not actually saying it, but this is how she feels. So in order to actually have it not be toxic, and if you want to have at least some sort of friendship after that, it's better you just be like, okay, you know what? Let's back off. Let's do this. Or if you're feeling it, let's go forward.
Right.
But I will say again, if you are over 30 and you allow yourself to be in a situation you want to be, that's on you. Like, you're old enough, as you said, at your big age, you're allowing someone to put you in a situationship that you don't want to be in. Oh, that's on you.
I mean, okay. So do you feel the same way? Do you feel like men typically will initiate the end, or will they wait for the woman to say, hey, sir, what are we doing here? And then that kind of is the beginning of the end.
I think that it has a lot to do with how strong the relationship is between the two. So if the two of them have proper communication and are mature enough to have that type of conversation, be like, look, this isn't like going the way I was kind of hoping it would. At some point, once the man is like, I've approached her with this. This is what I would like, and she has defined like, look, this isn't what I want. This is. Then I believe like it's up to him at that point to make the decision. Be like, you know what? Just back off.
So it has to be him wanting it and her not wanting it. But what if it's him not wanting it?
Saying, I'm just speaking from the male's perspective. So if I'm like in a situationship with a woman, and obviously we have emotions, right, involved, and I want more and she doesn't, I'm going to let that be known. Look, this is where I'm at. This is where my head is at. Where are you at? And if you've told me that you're not there and you don't know when you will be, all right, so relationship wise, I'm not going to entertain that anymore. So what's going to happen is, sex wise, we're going to keep fucking, but I'm still dating other people and I'm still looking for wifey because you ain't it.
So wait,
and you made it clear.
Okay, I guess I can understand where that's coming from.
I guess that's another way it could end.
I guess
somebody else.
I guess I don't know.
Why would I shut down like these benefits?
Nobody's saying.
There's that.
See, there you go. So that's exactly what I'm.
Shut down the companionship.
That's exactly what I'm trying to get to.
If it's like
That's if you
real
finally said it.
toxic, if it's getting real toxic where communication is becoming very difficult, like even like just common conversation, like just becomes very difficult. Like there's no point. That sex doesn't matter anymore. Like it's like,
Yeah.
all right, like spending time doesn't matter anymore. Like obviously it's not gonna go anywhere.
I mean, I personally, like for me, when it comes to, or when it has come to the situationships that I've been in, or even the situationships that I've evaluated, you know, I think a lot of accountability has to be given to both people that are involved. And I think with women, at least for me in my experience, when you're in a situationship, ladies, or in a friends with benefits situation, we understand, especially if it's a man that we care about, we understand his ego is very fragile, right? So 9 times out of 10, when a woman gets to a certain age and she's not getting, you know, maybe her biological clock is ticking. Who knows? She doesn't have any kids, or she wants to. There's nothing ticking over here. I have a son, but if her biological clock is ticking, or she wants to get married or something like that, right? And you know, women, despite the emotion, women get to a point where like that logic kicks in, and they're like, okay, you know what? I'm not about to wait. Especially, I think African women. I'm not about to wait forever. But they too enjoy those benefits, right? So they too are like, okay, I enjoy these benefits. I enjoy this. And they're seeing somebody else. But because they care about this man, they're not going to let him know that, right? They're going to just kind of keep it keep it whatever until, you know, and most of the time you're going to have, I think whenever I see situationships end, or I've been in situationships where they've ended, it's like, okay, look, this is what I want from you. Are you ready to give this to me? No? All right, cool. And then that's why, going back to your comment earlier, it's like you see them immediately in another situation. No, they're waiting for you to do what they want you to do. Because when women are emotionally vested, there's nothing else that you can say about that. But as soon as you tell them, I don't know what I want to do, they're gone. Just like you said with men, women do the same thing too. So it's not necessarily, a woman typically has already left a situation mentally before she actually physically leaves it. And that's with a situationship, a relationship, or anything.
Same thing with men.
Yeah, but I think that the problem with men, at least I've experienced with African men, is that they have this idea that they got this woman because she's engaging in this activity with you. Whether it's a situationship or a friends with benefits thing, she's engaging, she's doing it, she's kind of allowing you to like set the tone or whatever, so they feel like they got her. And then, you know, when they're in the fetal position in the shower crying is when they realize that they actually never really did.
Not in the fetal position.
No, they actually realized that they never really did, because once she realized, you know what, this is not going to go the way that I want it to go, she has moved on. She hasn't told you, but she has gone somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Ideally, she would like for you to be that one, but you're not stepping up. So she has gone somewhere else, especially if she's a decent woman. You know what I mean? So I think that friends with benefits, I agree with you. I think that situationships are very dangerous. I think they're a waste of time, in my personal opinion. I don't believe in just tasting a sample and not buying the whole thing. Like, you like what you taste, but you're not going to buy the whole thing. Like, for what? Like, I think it's stupid.
Okay. But, and bear with me, guys, here. And let's kind of back up. And if we're going to take it from the perspective of, say, an African, you know, now, for African women, right, you are, let's say historically, right, a lot of, and just to kind of be very blunt about it, a lot of like the pressure you get to like be in a relationship towards getting married is because a lot of your worth as a woman is determined
by a man,
by your relationship status with a man,
That's
like by
true.
being married, by,
That's true.
you know, and we know that. Now, as we've kind of come to the modern times and whatever, where some of that is slightly going away, as an African woman, why would you want to be in a relationship where you have all the responsibilities? Oh, hey, I don't really like cooking, but I got to cook. I don't really like being nurturing, but I got to nurture. If you can get all the companionship or whatever and not have the responsibilities, and you don't actually need that because all that pressure of, you know, being defined by being with a man is not there, why not be in a situationship?
No, I think that the thing, and I think when it comes to African women is, I think we have to go back to culture. So I feel like
Mhm.
African culture is timeless,
Mhm.
right? Like I think
Mhm.
that no matter what times we're going through, I feel like our
Right.
culture is going to stand pretty
Right.
firm, right?
Mhm.
So
All
Mhm.
day, every day.
we can be on Instagram and be posting hot girl summer and then be going and crying to our friends like, why don't nobody want to marry me?
Yeah.
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? So don't be fooled. Like
Okay.
African women want to be married. Like that's what they
Right,
want.
of course.
So a
Mhm.
situationship or a friends with benefit situation is
Mhm.
not going to help them. The
Mhm.
difference that we're seeing now is that instead of an African woman, and I can't speak for all, but I'll speak for the ones that I know and for myself,
Mhm.
instead of an African woman just staying in one situationship or dealing
Mhm.
with one man and doing friends with benefits, she has 5. Like that's the difference. Because before, an African woman would stick with one man for years and then end up being disappointed. We're learning now. And so now it's like, okay, I'm in a situationship with Sam, not literally. I'm in a situationship with Kevin. I'm in a situationship with Chris. Whichever one is going to bite, that's where I'm going to go.
Mhm.
That's the difference that we're seeing. But before it wasn't like that. So that's the change. It's not necessarily the outcome.
Bite on what?
No, like who wants a relationship? Who doesn't want a relationship? Like African women are not at the stage where we're not at the stage where we don't want to get married. We're not at the stage where we're like, okay, we don't want marriage. We do
I
want
don't-
marriage,
I
but
don't want
we're
to sound like I'm being disrespectful, but it almost kind of sounds like you're in a settlement. Like you're settling for
no,
whoever's willing to bite on.
no, because the thing
the
is
idea of a
no,
relationship or
no,
just-
because like I said, and like I've said before, marriage, serious relationships, love is literally like 10%, 20. I would venture to say as a woman, love is like 20% of it.
Okay.
And I've
Okay.
been married before. I would say that.
Okay.
The rest of it is like there are other things depending on what your personal preferences are. Right? Love and like and all that stuff is very,
Mhm,
very, very like I don't think that it's like, you got to be friends, you got to vibe, whatever. And I also think that there are some people who are afforded the grace to like meet someone and instantly vibe and instantly have that connection and it be dope and it be cool, right?
Mhm.
But a lot of it you kind of grow too. So you can like multiple people. You can vibe with multiple people and multiple people can give you benefits or whatever, but I'm not going to keep around 3 dudes that cannot give me a benefit if we decide we want to get into a relationship. Right? I'm going to keep around the 3 dudes that I'm like, okay, we vibe, we this, we that, because in every situation, in every relationship, there are going to be benefits. There are also going to be things that you don't necessarily like. Right? So you keep the ones around that you can deal with. That's just what it is.
Mhm.
If I think that if we wait around for like the unicorn or the one that like checks all the boxes, we're going to be waiting around for the rest of our life. Right?
Mm.
So
Okay. Okay.
that's what I see is happening. I don't think African women are going away from the desire of marriage, but I think
Mhm.
that they're going away from being exclusive to one nonsense boy that just wants to just mess with you and like not even, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I think they're going away from.
Okay.
I don't believe that. I disagree.
I mean,
I disagree.
listen.
Maybe it's because of the ones that I've entertained or like encountered or whatever. But
Mhm.
most of the ones that I've come across is they want the like look if you gonna be like knocking these cheeks back like you gonna have to commit to something like you gonna have to be serious. So
Don't be fooled by that because with and
I'm
I
not
don't
I'm not saying that they're not like entertaining other people or they're not
Mhm.
like in a situation. I'm not saying that. But
okay.
I don't think that I don't think that they're getting away from the idea or the thought or just wanting to be married. I don't think that they're getting
Yeah,
away from
they're
that. Like
not.
I think that's just the root.
They're just getting more clever. And shout out to my women that are clever. Like I know it sounds bad. I'm not like advocating for women to just go out here and just be doing
Ladies,
whatever they want to
I'm
do.
telling
No,
you.
let me
Oh,
finish.
I'm advocating for it.
I'm not advocating for
for
women
it.
to go out there and like do that and disrespect themselves. But what I'm
Okay.
saying is that I think that it's a very, very good thing that women are getting away from wasting their time.
That's
Because,
true.
before
Yeah.
what we would do
Yeah.
is we'd be wasting our time with one man, wasting our time with one person who hasn't really necessarily given a commitment, but we're just praying to God every night on our knees that he will, and then he
No, you're
doesn't.
not.
So I think that
No, you're
like
not.
I think that what I'm proud of is women who are getting away from that. Like congratulations and kudos to you. Like, date multiple guys. Go out on multiple dates. See multiple people because they're doing the same thing. There's a lot of people out here. Go out on dates, entertain, get dressed up every night if you want to. You know what I'm saying? Like, do what you got to do and do it however you want to do it. Don't wait on one guy to decide whether or not he wants to come and like meet your parents. Bye. Like, no. No. You want to come and meet my parents? I'm sorry. Somebody already came yesterday. Like, you a day too late. Like, bye. Like, what? You're a day too late. Bye-bye. No.
That's a race to the parents now?
Yes.
So that's interesting. I'm actually glad that you brought that up because that's something that I at some point I wanted us to actually address is the process of actually dating, what you should look for, like the different types of men versus the different types of women as it relates to dating.
There's only two different types of men, African men, as it relates to dating, and men in general.
Please share.
There are men that are serious, and then there are men that are not.
Okay, hot
That's
take.
it.
Okay, let's go.
That's it. Ain't nothing else. There are men that are serious, and there are men that are not. That's it. There's no different type.
So it's okay. It's easy to say that. It sounds good. But when a woman makes a choice to stick with a certain man, you're not choosing that man because you're saying he's a serious man, or he can be serious and be full of bullshit.
There's no way.
He can
being serious and there's no way you can be serious and be full
My
of
brother,
bullshit that are
stop it.
mutually no.
Stop.
No.
Here's what I would say on that, right? I think there's a spectrum of serious to unserious, and everybody is at some level on that spectrum. And you as a woman might meet this man and like, oh, he's unserious, but he's moving. Most likely they're not. But anyway, moving convince themselves that that's what's happening.
Yeah, because compared to the ones that aren't moving, you're like, oh, he's really
like,
doing something. But he's not.
Well, he's not that serious.
Women
when you met
can
him.
sense. That's what I'm trying to tell you is that women can sense that now. So all of this thing, like, I mean, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Sam,
Y'all still be getting lied to though.
I mean, maybe maybe it's different for me and for the people that I know.
Y'all be out here getting lied to.
I mean, y'all be listen. Women be out here getting lied to, but women also be doing all the women be lying too.
That's true.
Thank you, because women be telling lies too because we can finesse our way into and out of any situation if we really wanted to. And I think that is another thing. Like when I see like women empowerment or whatever, I'm not thinking like, you know, I want to be equal to a man because I have some curtains that need to be put up in my room. I'm not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be equal to a man like that, you know? But when I think of like woman empowerment, I think of like women understanding that you too can, you know, do certain things. You
like
too
what?
can move in a certain way.
Like what?
Like you don't have to date one man. You can date multiple men.
But y'all been doing that.
I'm talking about like from an African perspective.
Oh, Africans. Okay.
Yeah, from an African perspective, you can and funny enough, some of the women and some women might not want to admit it, but our moms, they be on the same page too. Like
what do you mean?
Mothers,
Really?
African mothers, they're hip. So African mothers, like Johnny will walk through the door and she'll be like, "Oh my God, Johnny, hey," and then. You know, she's like, okay, Johnny has left. What's up? Where's the other one? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like African moms, because they want their kids to get married. So they're loving and doting on you. But as soon as like somebody else comes, like if Rick comes and proposes to your daughter, and then Johnny is like, hey, mommy, what's up? Who are you? Like, what? Do I know you? Like, I'm telling you. So like things are changing. I'm telling you, things are changing. Like they are changing. I'm telling you.
Agree.
So
you think it's changing? I think it's always been there.
No, I think it's changing. I think I still kind of go on that point where it's like, I do understand there is still that pressure to get married. That's always going to be there. But it's not what it was.
Nope.
It really is not because, I mean, again, a lot of people, as you said, you know, 10%, 15% of getting married or getting into a relationship is love. A lot of all that other stuff is, you know, compatibility, is finances, or whatever.
Right.
But I feel like a big part of that percentage of whatever was again, that whole identity of, okay, you're only this level of woman if you're in a relationship or if you're married or whatever. I think that percentage has somewhat gone away.
It has.
Doesn't mean the whole pressure has gone away.
Right.
But that percentage has gone away. So women are like, or maybe not, I don't know if women are moving differently, but they can move.
They can move
differently,
because they have.
But a lot of times they don't.
Right, they can but like for the women that have tapped into that and have understood, oh, okay, I don't actually need you to define me, right? Like, of course I want to get married, but I don't need you to define me. Like, I don't need this man to do that. That's why I'm saying that you're seeing a lot of women who are like, oh, I can date multiple people. I can do this with multiple men. I can do that with but I'm telling you, like back, like I'm just speaking even for just me. 10 years ago, it was like, if you're talking to one African man, you are talking to that African man. But now you're talking to this African man. I guarantee you, African men, listen to me. If you are talking to a woman, less of commitment, like you have not exclusively committed to her, I guarantee you she is entertaining other men. And that's the thing that I'm saying is that, and I've said this before, that African women.
Do we not understand that as men in general, though?
See, I think we know that.
We know this.
I think we know that, but
we know this.
I just feel like African men hold African women to a certain standard.
Okay, I mean, this is the way I see it, right? And maybe because I don't subscribe to this, so it always confuses me that guys are like that. It's like, you're doing it too. You're talking to people. Don't get upset.
But don't you agree that African men typically they get upset?
There's a lot of dudes that get
a lot of African men.
Yes,
I think
she's
so.
talking about African men.
They do get upset.
I think so. I mean, from the way you're saying it, Derrick, I think you're saying that. Yeah, I wouldn't get upset because I'm moving that way. I'm saying the same thing. I wouldn't get upset. But I'm telling you, in my experience, from my opinion, a lot of African men,
they get mad,
even if they're not giving you that commitment.
What do you mean from your experience? So you
just from what
men?
No. What I say from my experience, from people I know, from people I've seen, social media, like just from what I've seen, the general discourse is,
I'm upset.
A typical African man will get upset if, like, I'm talking to you, but I find out you're talking to other people.
Exactly.
That's just the thing.
And what you have
seen.
So
what you're the exception to the rule, the way you feel,
and you're an anomaly because you are too, because what you see is you'll see an African man that will be entertaining other. Because honestly, most Africans, we come from like a polygamous background, right? So African men in general feel like it's okay for them to entertain, which there's no problem as long as you're not married. But we also see some married men that don't understand that they're married. But what I'm saying is that you will see an African man that will literally that I have been in groups with African men that have literally said, I was actually going to date her, but I found out she was talking to somebody else. Sir, you're actually here with somebody else. Like, you are actually like here with somebody. That doesn't matter. I was actually going to choose her. Like, are you serious? Like, that's literally what happened.
This is news to me. This is news to me.
Telling you, man.
Nah, our superpower is audacity. You should know this. So I mean, and I wear that badge with pride.
African men don't understand. Like, they're like are you serious? The audacity.
Our superpower is audacity, and that's fine. I'll claim it. I might not be audacious in this one, but I will do some audacity on some other bullshit. So yeah, I get it.
African men is like, you did this to me? Are you serious? Like, what? To me? I have brothers, like I know, and then some of my friends, like I've seen it, like they'll be coming and complaining, and they'll be complaining about this one chick, and then I'm like, but what about the others? We're talking about this one. Like, what?
Okay, so I get it. Okay, so let me ask this. So from a woman's perspective, what is your take on situationships versus friends with benefits versus, kind of like what your brother and Trisana did, where he was just like,
I want you.
Dope. I want her. Like, there's no time wasting.
I mean, at this stage in my life, because I've been married before and I have a child, at this stage, like if I decide that I want to entertain a situationship, or if I decide I want to entertain a friends with benefits, it's literally because I'm either bored or I'm just buying time. I'm just being honest. What I would ideally like is I don't think that either situation, I think that both situations are very dangerous. And I've been through enough experiences, and that's why I say experience is like, I mean, it's invaluable, right? So I've been through enough to where like I know exactly what it is that I want. So if I engage in something, don't be fooled by that. Don't think that, oh, she's here, so she's like, no. It's because like, that's just what I feel like doing. You know what I mean? But I know what it is that I want. And if you can't give me what I want, I'm going to do what I can to enjoy what I want to enjoy.
With that being said, are you like being like as clear and as precise and as honest as possible with this man or men or whoever?
I mean, typically, like, yeah,
Because because you said don't be fooled. So if your words are saying this and your actions are saying this, so how is he?
No, like if I see that feelings are starting to be developed, or if I see that there's like a level of possessiveness that's coming around or whatever, if I see that like things are changing, I'm gonna have a conversation with you, and I'm gonna say like, hey, where's your head at? Because if this is what it is, this is not where I am, and then we're gonna part ways, and that's just what that's gonna be. But if we both decide that this is something that we want to continue engaging in, but I know that, you know, there's no definite anything with you, or there's nothing that that's a friends with benefits situation, and I know that it's not going to end well. I have a child, right? So I know that I have a certain place that I want to be. I do want something serious eventually. I do want a committed relationship. I do want that. I don't want to just be playing around forever. But if you're not the person that's going to do it, I will continue to have fun with you. But you better believe
what's the point though?
Because I'm having fun and because I'm bored on a Friday night. Like, real talk, I'm serious. And you're somebody that I can talk to, and you're somebody that I trust, and you're like a friend or whatever.
So then what if you end up getting pregnant?
No, I'm not going to get pregnant.
Why?
Because I'm not.
How do you know that?
Because I'm not.
Are you on birth control?
Why are you asking me those questions?
Are you on birth control?
Yeah. Yep, I have a form of birth control.
Okay, so you don't think that it is possible to get pregnant although being on birth control?
No, I mean, I think that it is possible to get pregnant being on birth control. But what I'm telling you is that I think another thing is, and it might seem like I'm hyping up my women, but a woman with a plan cannot be fucked with. So a woman
that's a solid
No,
plan?
what I'm telling you is a woman that knows, a woman that is in tune with herself and knows that a situation is not for her, she's not going to get trapped in that. That's just so, like, I'm just telling you, like, a woman that knows it, she's not.
So the reason why I asked that question is,
ladies, don't get pregnant.
No, because it's dangerous, because that's a whole nother conversation itself.
Yeah,
because there's women out there who entertain situationships or friends with benefits, and low key they have like feelings they haven't addressed, or vice versa. Even men, you know what I'm saying? Like, they are in a situationship with a woman and they are steadily like busting in her, like shooting up the club. But deep down inside, he's like, I want this woman, but I'm gonna try to trap her. Like, so that's a whole.
When I think about, but when I think about,
so my point is, yes, it's fun, but you have to think of the implications.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Is that, but like, that's why I said I have a child. So before I enter into anything, I've thought it through. Before I do anything,
so you're basically saying that before I enter anything sexual, I've thought it through. Like,
I'm not even just.
If I got pregnant by this individual,
so you're talking but you're talking about sex. That's what I'm trying to tell you is that I have, like, if we're talking about just me in general, I have protected myself against the possibility of getting pregnant. If I am not sure if I will get pregnant, or if I'm not sure about what's going to happen, that's not going to be a situation that I'm going to entertain, because I have somebody else to think about, which is my child. Right? So let's take away the sex from it, because the situationship is the feeling aspect. Like I said again, because having sex, period, you're taking a risk of getting pregnant, whether it's with your partner, your husband, whatever. It doesn't matter. That's a risk, whether you're on birth control or not. You could, I know.
Right, but I wasn't talking about just situationship. I was talking about even just friends with benefits.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I was
going off the base of the comment that you made about it's something to do.
Yes, it is something to do, because you take when I say it's something to do, I'm not necessarily just talking about the sex. I'm talking about the companionship. Again, I am a single mother with a child. So it can get lonely sometimes, when it's just you and your child, or whenever they go to their father's house or whatever, and you just here by yourself. You want somebody to talk to, you know what I mean? Right. But you also, as a single mother, you also want someone you can trust, because you're not just going to let anybody into your home or into your space, right? So, it's just, it's also like, something to do. Like, oh, okay, I have this person that I trust. We've built this with, like, I can actually talk to him. I can kick it with him or whatever. We could do what we do. But I also know that I want to eventually maybe get married again. I also know that I eventually want to get into a serious relationship again. And I know that this person is not on that same wavelength. You better believe that Natalie is, like, setting herself up because I have to move different now. You see what I'm saying? When I was younger, it wasn't like that. When I was younger, it was like, okay, I'm just gonna, you know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna go with it. No, I've been married, I have a child, so I'm moving different. So if I see that like this guy is developing feelings or whatever, or things are happening, and it's not to say that I don't have feelings either, because I do, but or I could, I have to check myself. And I have to, like, that logic has to kick in. Like, okay, Natalie, like, what are you gonna do here? If your feelings start to like control how you move and control what you do, it's time to move around. You know what I'm saying? But don't confuse the fact that like I'm engaging with the fact that like I'm stuck. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm saying. Like, because I'm probably not. And then women,
That's
we
a
also
good way to put it.
yeah, we also have the ability to, like, you know, love more than one person. So, you know, all three of our niggas feel like we just, you know what I'm saying? Like all three of them feel like we giving them everything. So when I cook a big pot of stew, it's divided into three.
Natalie, so what you're admitting is that it is possible to love more than one person.
I mean, you know, women, we fake orgasms, we fake love.
We've had conversations in the past where you said it's not possible to love more than one person.
It is no. What I have said is that it is possible to love more than one person. It is impossible to be in love with more than one person.
I disagree.
I think that you can love. Listen.
Sam?
Yeah,
in love is different. Right. Being in love is different.
I think in love is different.
In love is different.
I think so.
Listen, I love my neighbor because today I got an Amazon package and she brought it to her door and she waited for me to come and she was like, "Hey, you got an Amazon package. I love you." Am I in love with her? No.
I feel you, but I'm saying I think it's possible to be in love with more than one person.
I don't think so.
It's highly possible because
I don't think so. I don't think it's possible to be in love with more than one person.
Story time?
No, just once. Just once. Okay. It's happened only once.
You weren't in love with both of them.
And it was like the hardest decision of my mother freaking life.
It was infatuation.
No.
It wasn't love. I'm telling you. No. It's not possible to be in love with more than one person at the same time. I think that it's possible.
You haven't experienced.
I think that it's possible. I think that it's possible. No, I think that it's possible to love more than one person. I do think that it's possible to love, but to be in love, I do not think that it's possible to be in love with more than one person. Guys, I know a lot of women that are in love with multiple niggas right now. Like they are. They're in love with multiple niggas and multiple niggas in love with them. But they love multiple niggas and multiple niggas love them. But there's that one man. There's that one man that no matter what happens, no matter what happens, no matter where he goes, no matter what, that one man, all he has to do is he doesn't even have to text. He just sends a smoke signal. Everybody else is you know what I'm saying? So it's like, and then just think about it. As a man, right? You might, let's say that you love 3 women. Mm-hmm. You're with those 3 women, but at any time that you're with one of those women, there's always one woman that comes to mind with every single woman you're with. There's always one woman that you feel like this weird allegiance to, this weird loyalty to. She's different. It's only one. It can't be 2. You can't be like it's only one.
I see what you mean. Because I'm thinking of a specific context.
I disagree, man. I disagree.
Derrick just don't want niggas to be vulnerable.
No, I'm just saying it's possible because it's possible where you've like been in this hardcore relationship with this one individual, right? And it kind of like just doesn't go the way y'all want. Then you meet someone else or you were entertaining someone in the past where y'all were like really cool as fuck, right? And then y'all fall in love. So, and then you like run into the ex. Now you're like, so I'm saying it's possible. It can happen. Just because you haven't experienced doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
No, I just think that it's completely impossible for your heart to beat for 2 people at the same time.
Look, I can agree to disagree.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those kind of 6 and a half dozen, that kind of thing. Because I'll say in my experience, right? Okay, there has been somebody where it was just like, okay, it was a relationship. It was like super toxic, whatever, you know, and I've moved on from that.
Those be the best ones.
Other whatever. But at the back of my mind, I know that, okay, if this person sent out the bad signal, there's a chance, even though I know all the toxic stuff or whatever. So I know that's what she's talking about. Yeah, just send out the,
Send them pictures out. I'm coming.
just send out the sign.
That's it. That's all you're
You know,
waiting for.
the light in the night sky with the
Right.
person's first letter. I'll just be like, ooh, okay.
That's it.
I'm on my
I'm
way.
telling you, that's what you're waiting for. I'm telling you that's what it is. I'm telling you that your heart.
So I get what she's saying, kinda. Yeah.
It's
feel
like-
her to a certain degree, but I'm telling you, I from my experience, it's possible. It is.
I just do not listen. I just don't believe that can happen. And if you're out there and you're in love with somebody else, don't even call my name. I'm just telling you right now.
Look, this is coming from the one that said, like, look, you best believe I'm entertaining all these people.
But at the
Don't be fooled.
but at the core of it all, I'm still an African. And what did we say about African audacity? I dare you. I dare you to. But no, this has been really, really great. It's been really, really fun. We really appreciate you, Sam, for coming on.
Oh,
I hope you had a
Thank
good
you for
time.
inviting me. This was a blast. I hope y'all invite me again sometime.
We definitely will invite you again. So we
Hey,
really
I definitely look. So there's a reason why I asked Natalie the question as far as like just doing it for fun because and not thinking about the ramifications that as it relates to just having sex or just having a good time. Because of the whole abortion law, the Texas abortion law, I want to have that conversation. I think that's very freaking important.
But when
I
I
have
said
a lot of thoughts on that.
yeah, but when I
This would be
said
a
when I
cool
said see, this
pod.
is the problem. When I said doing it for fun, I didn't just mean like out there. Just I wasn't
Yeah,
associating.
I don't care about all that.
I wasn't
Listen,
associating. You see what I'm
listen,
saying?
That's a conversation that I want to have.
Okay, the man is just trying to do a segue. Okay,
Like it's always that one. Like I'm telling you that. So listen. Like just keep quiet. Stop.
So this has turned into this is no longer the African effect. This is how can we destroy the image of women in 45
No,
minutes?
man.
That's literally what this has
that's
become.
This is the
not
soul
what it
about
is,
to
man.
get stabbed podcast.
That's actually I'm actually looking around for a weapon right now as we speak.
Listen,
Jeez.
but look, I think that's a very important conversation to
I
have.
think so,
especially
too.
As it just relates to just Africans in general, and just like people who are just out here just in situationships.
Okay.
Like,
Is this person that you're in a situationship with someone that could be the parent to your children? And if you answer that question no, you probably should get
have
out
you
of
been
it.
married before?
I have.
How do you feel about that
About
in
what?
general? Just about just being married. Do y'all have kids together?
No, we did not.
Talk about luck.
That's enough for another pod.
Exactly. That reaction right there. That right there. I can't wait. Listen, guys, look. It's been a blast. We appreciate you for joining the
This
show.
was great. This was great.
I hope
but
you have
that's-
fun.
But that's
I
something
did.
for us to actually definitely pick back up on. As
And
it
hopefully
relates
we
to,
can
like,
have you on the show.
situationships.
Like we'll be,
Hey,
we'll
yeah,
we'll
just let me
definitely have
know.
you on the show again because I know that you don't.
I mean, y'all provide liquor, so I'll be here.
That's right. We do provide drinks. We provide snacks. A full-fledged bar. What did you say? You said whiskey with 3 cubes?
Just 3 ice cubes.
No
No more,
more.
no less.
No more, no less. All right. Okay,
My
cool.
man.
We got you. Well, thank you for joining so much. We really appreciate it. We hope that you guys really enjoy the conversation today and that you leave your comments down below and reach out to us if you have any questions. And we really want to have like more guests on the show, right, Derrick? So
Yeah.
if you're somebody that is like open and willing to kind of like share your experiences and talk with us, we'd be willing to have you. Like Sam said, we have liquor, we have snacks. So it's a really cool environment. But
Hey, shout out to my girl TT, man. We're gonna have this conversation as far as like mental health. I know you and I have been talking about this for a while, but we're gonna talk about this.
what's up, TT?
So until next time,
Bye, guys.
peace.